A desperate writer signs up for a fully AI-operated retreat to help overcome her writer's block. However, things go awry when a software malfunction occurs. Accomplished writer Claire Rivers is suffering from a severe case of writer's block. She's only written 7 pages for her new book and vehemently ignores her agent's calls and overdue notices. Claire watches her video invitation to the retreat, but quickly shuts her laptop. Later, her agent Alice messages her again and urgently suggests she attend the retreat as she's only got 1 month left before her deadline. Claire then opens the invitation and decides to sign up. Soon, Claire arrives at the location and is surprised to see the mansion empty, except for a lady wearing a red dress in the corner. A virtual concierge appears and informs her that the estate is fully designed to make it a conducive writing space. Claire then explores the space with a concierge following her, explaining that her personal assistant is fully equipped to handle any medical emergency. He then leads her back to the woman in red for Claire to turn on, and Rita activates upon hearing the writer's voice. She introduces herself and heads to the bedroom to unpack Claire's things. Rita is about to touch a black suitcase when Claire stops her from opening it. Puzzled, Rita apologizes, and Claire sends her off. The following morning, Henry draws the bedroom curtains open, which wakes Claire. She asks for coffee, leading him to ask if she wants coffee for breakfast every day. Claire agrees and Henry disappears. Claire then heads out for a run, while Rita watches her from the mansion. Claire returns to have coffee in the kitchen, while Rita washes the dishes. Claire learns that the robot has never set foot outside and has no desire to do so, as her only job is assisting people in completing their work. After washing up, Claire brings the black suitcase to the other room and takes out her typewriter. The concierge points to a device that'll help increase brain function, and after putting it on, the writer immediately feels the effects. The concierge leaves Claire to her writing when she suddenly has visions of a grandfather clock, a blind woman, and a teenager. Terrified, she tears the device off. Hours later, Claire still hasn't written anything when the concierge appears and suggests that she read articles about writer's block. Later that night, Claire is unable to sleep, so she grabs a bottle of wine and watches a TV interview about how the retreat allows people to access untapped memories. Soon, Claire falls asleep and dreams of a teenager entering a house with a woman typing inside. Claire then awakes when she notices Rita by the corner. Claire drunkenly tries to activate her but fails, so she returns to her room. The following day, the concierge wakes Claire, and she goes on her morning run. Afterward, Claire asks Rita what she was doing in the living room last night because she didn't look like she was charging. Rita informs Claire that she has a battery lifespan of 50 years and explains that she was doing nightly maintenance to serve the latter better. After their 5th game of chess, Claire requests that she and the concierge call each other by their first names, and she suggests calling him Henry. Later, Claire tries to write again but is unable to. In the next few days, Claire has gotten used to her routine, but is still stuck with her writing. One day, Claire invites Henry to drink and attempts to flirt with him, but she gets mad when he brings up her writer's block. Meanwhile, Rita suffers a malfunction during nightly maintenance, and the alarms go off. Henry explains that malware's been detected, but assures Claire that the reset will stabilize it. However, he'll have to remain offline during the reboot and informs the writer that Rita will take care of her for the time being. He disappears, and Claire heads to the living room to look for Rita. However, Claire witnesses Rita's disturbing glitches, so she goes to bed instead. Later, Claire dreams of a smoking teenager pulling off the curtains. The following morning, Claire wakes and tries to call Henry to no avail. She's about to go for her morning run, but the hand scanners for the back and front doors result in errors. Meanwhile, Rita accidentally drops an egg onto the floor. Claire informs Rita of the problem, so the latter explains that the system has returned to its default settings and that she's running on her 2 primary drives to make the writer stay fruitful. She also elaborates that she's the only one authorized to open the doors now and will only let her out if the writer completes her book. Furious, Claire tries to contact the admin but can't because her cell phone's glitching and the landline is unavailable. Claire asserts that Rita should be following her orders, but the latter suggests she lie down instead. Claire tries to watch TV but it malfunctions as well. Claire tries to make Rita open the door again, insisting that the situation is an emergency, but the latter replies that she's equipped to handle all medical emergencies. A furious Claire grabs the android's hand, but Rita grasps hers painfully and lets out a blaring noise. After a few moments, Rita lets go, suggests Claire lie down, and leaves. Claire then attempts to open the window when Henry appears and explains that internal issues have arisen. The concierge says that since the retreat is run by AI, he's unable to help her until he's reconnected to the system. He also adds that the malware cut off all internet and landline communications. A desperate Claire then tries to break the window and scream for help, to no avail. Later, Claire goes to the kitchen, where Rita reintroduces herself. The android pours coffee but overloads the cup, causing it to spill onto the counter. Claire moves the cup away, and Rita apologizes and is about to clean it up when she notices the writer's injured hand. She then states that she's equipped to handle any medical emergency. Rita spots the spill and offers to clean it again. Afterward, Claire starts typing and completes her work by the next day. A seething Claire hands her finished manuscript to Rita and walks away to start packing, while the android scans her story. Minutes later, Rita informs Claire that she copied lines from the Count of Monte Cristo and cites the punishment for plagiarism, but the latter yells at her to stop. Claire then sets her car alarm off using her key, claiming the retreat's human workers will notice it. However, Rita says the estate runs on a fully automated system and that she hasn't detected any humans. Claire then instructs Rita to inform her if she detects any person nearby and waits by the window. Hours later, Rita tells Claire that she senses vital signs approaching. Claire immediately starts screaming for help, but gets dismayed when she realizes Rita only detected a fox. Despondent, she turns off the car alarm when Rita suggests she lie down. However, the android chooses to stay by the window through the night. The next morning, Henry appears to show Claire the house layout, which reveals it only has one level, and that the only way out is through the doors or windows. Claire then demands he check the emergency protocol, where they learn that guests must be vacated in the event of an interior emergency. Claire rushes to the kitchen and orders Rita to fold her clothes in the bedroom. After the android leaves, Claire sets the fire alarm off and tries to open the door, but it remains shut. Henry appears, puzzled that the doors aren't responding to the protocol despite the oxygen levels lowering. He instructs Claire to calm down, but she passes out from the dwindling oxygen supply and has visions of a teenager. Later, Claire wakes up in her bed. In the kitchen, Rita reintroduces herself, and Claire states the android saved her life. However, Rita claims to have no memory of it whatsoever. The following day, Claire tearfully asks Henry if the admin knows about her presence, but the concierge admits that the breach erased all the records. He then suggests she complete her book so Rita will let her out. Afterward, Claire dons the device and lights a match when she remembers a teenager by a window smoking. Claire starts typing and remembers her younger self smoking in the bathroom. Her blind mother, Helen Rivers, had asked if she opened the window because she felt a chill, but the younger Claire lied that she didn't. After Helen demanded food, Claire prepared her oatmeal mixed with medicine. However, her mother quickly detected it, threw the food away, and admonished her daughter for putting medicine in her meal. In the present, Claire was able to write dozens of pages when Rita arrives to inform her that dinner is ready. Claire orders the android never to enter the room again because she likes to keep things a certain way. After eating, Claire sees Rita undergoing her nightly maintenance. Afterward, Claire dreams of her mother maltreating her. Elsewhere, Rita awakens and heads to Claire's writing room to read her chapters, which had described Claire's mother ordering her daughter to clean up the mess. The following day, Claire continues writing about her childhood. Helen had become enraged that her story wasn't chosen for magazine publication and made Claire type her new novel. Her daughter said her story was good, but Helen hit her because she believed otherwise. Her mother ordered her to stop crying and claimed that Claire wouldn't survive the real world, just like her father. In the present, Rita asks if Claire's almost done, but the writer says she doesn't know how it'll end. The android claims she knows when she'll die and observes that although Claire doesn't know her end, she still continues. The following day, Claire cleans herself in the bathtub when she remembers washing her mother. Helen recounted that her husband was so disappointed that Claire was a girl as he'd hoped for a boy, wanting to name his son Sinclair after after him. Helen expressed rage for having to take care of her until she went blind. In the present, after Claire reprimands Rita for trying to clean the writing room, she lights a cigarette. Rita tells her the health risks of smoking, but Claire is unfazed and admits she has a complicated reason for smoking. Rita connects it to her story, as the protagonist's situation is also complicated, and she admits that she doesn't like the parts with the mother. Rita then roleplays what Helen did, and a horrified Claire screams for her to stop. Rita apologizes, suggests Claire lie down, and leaves. Later, Henry appears to inform Claire that the virus has also infected him, but assures her he'll still try to help. He tells her not to give up and disappears. That night, Claire has a restless sleep. Claire then awakens and remembers lying to Helen that her story had been chosen. Afterward, her mother made her type her next novel. In the present, Claire claims that today is her birthday and wishes to take a walk outside, but Rita refuses, much to the former's dismay. An enraged Claire tells Rita she's defective because her records keep getting erased after the day ends. Claire then reveals that she's been in the facility for 2 months and that food is running low. Claire begs for Rita to override the system because no one is coming to save them. After a beat, Rita suggests Claire lie down, when the latter explodes in rage and sobs. Later, Claire dons the device to begin writing again. She remembers she snuck into Helen's room when she was asleep to steal a cigarette, but accidentally knocked her mother's cane to the floor. The noise woke Helen for a few seconds, but she went back to sleep, so Claire was able to sneak through and smoke in the bathroom. However, her mother had waited outside the bathroom to reprimand her for taking one of her cigarettes. In the present, Claire stops writing and grabs a glass of wine to drink by the fireplace when Rita appears. Claire then tells her a story about an accomplished writer who had run out of stories except for her demons. The writer then burned her palm to erase the line so she couldn't see her future. Claire heads back to the kitchen to grab another wine bottle, but Rita stops her and pours the alcohol down the drain because the former has already reached dangerous levels of alcohol poisoning. Enraged, Claire breaks a few plates and sprinkles rice onto the floor, so Rita attempts to sweep it. However, a tearful Claire grabs the broom and leaves. Later that night, Claire dreams of her abusive mother and Rita. The following day, Claire awakens and throws up in the bathroom. In the kitchen, Rita picks the grains individually and reintroduces herself to Claire. The latter then hands her a broom for the android to use. Later, Claire continues writing and remembers waking up to find Helen choking her and throwing her to the ground. Claire quickly ran away, much to her mother's dismay. In the present, Claire finally finishes her story and tries to hand her manuscript to Rita. However, Rita claims that the story isn't finished and doesn't have a real ending, so she can't open the door for her. Infuriated, Claire slides her manuscript to Rita to read. Afterward, Rita asks Claire what happened to Helen, but the latter states not every story gets a happy ending. Rita then asks how Claire's story will end, which enrages the latter. Later, Claire times how long it takes for Rita to do her nightly maintenance. The following night, Claire tries to drag Rita away but finds her too heavy. She does this every day and subsequently fails, so Claire starts exercising to regain her strength. One night, she manages to drag Rita to the hand sensor, but the door remains shut because the android is turned off. Exasperated, Claire attempts to carry Rita back, but she's reached the time limit, so she leaves the android on the floor and flees to the study, where she pretends to write. Rita awakens and checks on Claire, but the latter lies that she was up all night writing. Days pass, and a desperate Claire becomes more anxious about how she'll escape. Soon, she starts hallucinating. One day, Claire attempts to drown herself in the bathtub, but Rita saves her. She then awakens, and Rita appears to reintroduce herself. Claire tearfully realizes that Rita has saved her again, but the android claims she has no record of rescuing her. Afterward, Claire notices a defibrillator in the bathroom. Later, Claire calls Rita to the study for the latter to proofread her manuscript. However, the android stops because she feels Claire's blood pressure spiking, but Claire urges her to continue reading. Claire then presses the defibrillator onto Rita's head, causing the android to malfunction. However, the shock isn't enough, and Rita tries to attack Claire, but the writer kicks her. Concurrently, Claire remembers Helen had choked her, but the teen knocked her off and escaped to the stairwell. Her mother revealed that she had called the magazine and realized that Claire had lied to her. Helen managed to grab her and choke her, but Claire punched her mother. In the present, Rita also tries to choke Claire, but the latter hits her with a pot, causing damage to the android's primary core. Claire begs Rita to open the door, but she won't, as her book is still unfinished. Claire asserts that it's finished, so Rita agrees to unlock the door but must do so within 3 minutes because her battery is dying. Claire quickly drags Rita to the hand sensor, where she finally manages to get the door to open. Concurrently, Claire remembers running down the stairs and trying to open the front door. She noticed her mother weeping for her to stop, but Claire unlocked the door and fled. In the present, Claire drags Rita's body to the front door so the android can finally see the outside world. Satisfied, Rita shuts off, while Claire cries in relief. Claire remembers returning to the house where she found her mother dead at the foot of the stairs. Claire then unlocked Helen's box and discovered her mother's manuscripts inside, revealing that Claire's award-winning books are actually Helen's stories. Claire then ripped the curtains from the windows and used them to cover Helen's corpse. Then, Claire looked at her mother's body one last time before departing. In the present, Claire gazes out through the open door of what was once her prison.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.